Forget American Top Team. Forget AKA. Forget City Kickboxing. Forget Shootbox Diego Lima. A brand new gym out of Brazil is quietly building an army. And right now, they're taking over the UFC. They call themselves the Fighting Nerds. Over the next few weeks and months, they could go from a group of underdogs from Sao Paulo to UFC headliners, breakout stars, and possibly even have multiple UFC champions. In this video, we're going to explore the Fighting Nerds gym, and we're going to take a look at just what made the newest super team in MMA. First off, why the Fighting Nerds? The gym was started in Sao Paulo, founded by Coach Pablo and his team. Their philosophy, mixing brains with the bravery and heart that comes with being a fighter. Coach Pablo describes this as almost all fighters want to be smarter and almost all nerds want to be braver. Combine the two and you've got a fighting nerd.
Bigger than a team is a concept.
But this isn't just some cookie cutter factory of fighters that pumps out the exact same style, writing the same script, that all has the exact same style of fighting. The system is built around unique concepts like invisible fights, control, angles, and even gratitude.
Right. Today is going to be striking day.
Okay.
We train a lot of the invisible fights. So I think you guys are going to like that.
The invisible fights?
Invisible fights.
What do you mean by the invisible fights?
The invisible fight is what the other guy is not fighting. So we fight alone. They're just thinking about trading punches and kicks. We're fighting what comes before that.
Okay.
The preparation, the scenario. We're going to see that.
Fighters train to think like animals, identify their natural strengths, and fight with intelligence. That culture has transformed them from a small Brazilian team into the team of the year in 2024, and now they're knocking on the door of UFC Gold. At the top of the Fighting Nerds roster is Caio Borralho. Caio earned his way into the UFC with back-to-back Contender Series wins, and since joining the UFC in 2022, he's remained undefeated. He's beaten tough guys like Jared Cannonier, Paul Craig, Abus Magomedov, and others. And even his now teammate at the Fighting Nerds, McCall Alexajasic, using a mix of crisp striking and suffering ground control. And now he's got the biggest fight of his career, headlining UFC Paris against Nassourdine Imavov. A win doesn't just keep his streak alive, it launches him into a UFC middleweight title fight with current champion Khamzat Chimaev. But here's the question. Is Caio Borralho about to become Brazil's next big star? Or will Imavov hold the line in Paris? Either way, the Fighting Nerds just secured one of their first ever UFC main events. And right underneath Caio Borralho on the Paris card is his teammate, Mauricio Ruffy. Ruffy stormed into the UFC in 2024 and immediately started stacking up wins. With his slick boxing, Muay Thai, and added layers of wrestling and control from the Fighting Nerds, he's on a tear. With wins in Madison Square Garden, and a highlight reel potential KO of the year against Bobby King Green, he is ready to take on the toughest at 155 pounds. Now he's facing his toughest test yet, Benoit Saint-Denis in the co-main event of UFC Paris. The Frenchman is something of a national hero, having fought for their military, as violent as they come, and a very, very tough competitor, fighting at home in Paris. But if Ruffy shocks the world and beats Benoit Saint-Denis in France in highlight reel fashion, the way that I think he will, he becomes a household name overnight, and the UFC will look to push him into bigger matchups. If all goes according to plan, the Fighting Nerds will walk out of UFC Paris with 2 wins and 2 potential title contenders. Then there's the wild card of the group, Carlos Prates. Prates joined the UFC in 2024 and instantly made an impact with highlight reel knockouts. But nothing compares to UFC 319 when he smoked Jeff Neal with a spinning elbow from hell. And that KO brought him right back into the good graces of the UFC after his loss to Ian Gary, because now he's matched up with former welterweight champion Leon Edwards at UFC 322 in Madison Square Garden. From unranked underdog to fighting a champion in Madison Square Garden within a year, this guy is on the road to global stardom. And here's the crazy part. Prates is known for smoking cigarettes even on fight day. Yeah, you heard that right. A pro athlete, a pro fighter. He smokes consistently and then shows up on fight night with a gas tank for 5 rounds. His matchup at Madison Square Garden at UFC 322 with Leon Edwards is the next step towards a title for Carlos Prates, and one of the final pieces of the puzzle to get the 4 main fighting nerds into UFC title fights. Quick break. If you're loving this video and you want more from Fight Society, click that join button down below to become a channel member today, where you'll get access to members-only live streams, behind-the-scenes vlogs, and all the unfiltered stuff that we don't post to the main channel. Back to the video. And it doesn't stop there. Absolute wild man of the gym, Gene Silva, is next up. Silva debuted in 2024 with a bang. Back-to-back knockouts that showed he's a savage brawler with endless pressure. With amazing wins over Bryce Mitchell and Melsik Bagdasaryan, he's landed himself his first main event. And it's a massive main event that could be a #1 contenders fight if he wins, against Diego Lopez at Noche UFC, September 13th. Is one of the most beloved breakout stars in the UFC, seen barking, crying, and everything in between. But Silva remains exactly the type of fighter who thrives in chaos and continues to build his hype train.
Só eu vou seguir, vou bater em todo mundo, tanto faz. A questão é que se eu bater em todos os atletas que tiver na minha categoria, eu vou ficar muito rico.
If he wins, the Fighting Nerds will have produced 3 UFC wins within 2 weeks, 2 headline wins in 2 weeks, and potentially be walking away with 3 title contenders. Now, there's a supporting cast at Fighting Nerds, even behind the biggest names. They do have up to 80 fighters at the gym at a time. And these killers that are behind the big names are Mikhail Alexejasic, who is 2-0 since joining the Fighting Nerds gym after losing 3 fights in the UFC in 2024. They also have Icaro Brito, who is a rising prospect fighting on Dana White's Contender Series on September 23rd, looking to get a contract with the UFC. Many people in the gym say he's the best martial artist of them all. The roster keeps growing, but the main 4 is Carlos Prates, Caio Borralho, Mauricio Ruffy, and Gene Silva, and they are all in prime positions to become UFC champs in 2026. So how did a small gym in São Paulo pull all of this off? It's their formula. Fighting Nerds blend science, problem solving, and culture. They even have data scientists working in the gym to analyze the best ways for the Fighting Nerds to beat their opponents. Every fighter is trained to understand control, movement, and timing before technique. Fighters are encouraged to develop their own style instead of copying one system, which is very interesting because many gyms, especially big gyms, have something of a program that they teach fighters where everybody learns jab, leg kick, jab, cross, switch kick to the body, for example, their own combos, their own style that's just for that gym and runs rampant in that gym with almost no deviation. The Fighting Nerds are different. They want everyone to fight to their strengths, and that's a big part of their success. The fighters don't have to pretend to be somebody that they're not for the sake of appeasing a coach. And most importantly, the gym is like family. They eat together, train together, share gratitude every practice, and keep egos out of the room. And that's how you build champions, like shootbox and city kickboxing used during their takeovers. And now the Fighting Nerds is next. Think about it. In just a couple years, the Fighting Nerds went from nobodies in Brazil to producing multiple UFC main events, contenders, and potential champions. Caio Borralho is chasing middleweight glory. Mauricio Ruffy is taking the hometown hero on in Paris this weekend. Gene Silva looking to crash the party for Diego Lopez at Noche UFC. And Carlos Prates, he's smoking his way into a Madison Square Garden feature fight against Leon Edwards. This isn't just another gym. This might be the UFC's next dynasty. So I'll ask you guys, who's the first Fighting Nerd to take home UFC gold? Let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know if you'd like more deep dives on gyms. Do you want more from Fight Society? Like and subscribe below this video, and click the join button to become a channel member today to get access to behind the scenes vlogs and members only live streams.